Hi, I'm Ross Barry. Welcome to this week's Friday 5 at 5, which is in fact Thursday 5 at 5, April 9, Easter edition. Well, firstly, an update on COVID-19 coronavirus. And New South Wales has recorded just 39 new cases in the 24 hours to Wednesday night. That's the lowest rate of new infections for almost a month. Unfortunately for us here on the coast, the news is not so good. In news just to hand, we've learnt that 12 of these new cases were linked to a ward at Gosford Hospital, including 2 patients, 6 staff and 4 family visitors. The affected ward has been closed and community contact tracing is underway. But local district health have advised us that Gosford Hospital remains open and operational. Some other interesting data from New South Wales Health is that of the 161 symptomatic travellers quarantined in hotels in recent weeks, 36 or 22% of those have tested positive to COVID-19. In other breaking news this morning, New South Wales Minister for the Arts, Don Harwin, has created a media storm after being ambushed by journalists at his Pearl Beach holiday home. The revelation has raised the ire of the public amid claims the minister was flouting the rules. Minister Harwin, however, claims to have been residing at Pearl Beach due to health reasons and that he arrived 3 weeks ago prior to the latest round of travel restrictions. It's understood that he has now returned to Sydney at the request of the Premier. It's now been 3 weeks since initial restrictions on travel and social gatherings were introduced. Let's cross to David Abrahams to see how the community is holding up.
Thanks, Ross. Yes, no, it's not contact yoga or COVID-19, it's Skin Cancer Week for me, in case you're wondering. Well, Don Harwin did create some angst. We heard from Labor member for Gosford, Liesl Tesh, who had this to say.
The people of the coast have been emphasising that it's not okay for anybody to be holidaying in their second home, not okay for tourists to be up here this weekend. And yet Minister for the Arts, Liberal guy, Mr Harwin, has been at his holiday house. He's been sprung by the locals and he's been sent home by the Premier. The Premier said she knew about it a couple of days ago. Seriously, Ms Berejiklian, that's not good enough. We need to be leading by example and saying every single step of the way, the rules are the rules, we will abide by them, and we expect the community to do so too. I thank everyone who is doing the right thing. Thank you so much. And any single person who's in their second home or on holidays on the coast, I advise you to pack up your kit like Minister Harwin's done right now, put your tail between your legs and get back to your primary residence.
Well, as Liesl has alluded to, the rules have been clearly spelt out and they are being enforced. We've seen already this week an increased police presence around the Central Coast. Terrigal MP Adam Crouch also said the state was working with New South Wales Police and major hotel owners on the coast to prevent a holiday spike in new COVID-19 infections. We also shared with you this week that some stories of businesses finding new and clever ways to stay afloat during the crisis. One business that's been in the spotlight this week is drive-through coffee shop Fahrenheit 451 at East Gosford, who we drove by earlier today.
We have had contact with the council, but they've pretty much just said there's nothing that they can change for us. So we've just had to take our signs off the road and we have them up on the footpath now. So it's working okay. We've still got it kind of running and I guess our regulars understand what's going on, so that's made it a bit easier, but it is still a bit of a pain trying to keep it available for the drive-through to keep going.
Now, behind me you can see the palm trees at Leagues Club Field have been moved for Palm Sunday perhaps. That's something we'll follow up in due course. But right now, with Easter upon us, we thought it was more appropriate to seek an Easter message from the much revered Father Rod Bauer.
Well, I didn't really feel like celebrating Easter. It seems like we are in this long Lent, that 40-day period that runs up to Easter. And in fact, the word quarantine actually means 40 days. It was the 40 days that ships had to wait off a port before they entered. And so it seems like we're in this long quarantine period, and it doesn't feel much like celebrating Easter. And then I read the account, St John's Gospel's account, and it begins while it was still dark. And I guess it changed my mind a bit because it's so important that in the darkness, that glimmer of hope, that small light starts to burn. And so I think it's really fitting that we hear those words, that although it's still dark, although we're in this midst of this crisis and all locked up in our homes, that in fact that light of hope can be kindled and is actually important. It's essential that it be kindled in our hearts and our lives and our homes at the moment. So yes, that's my reflection on Easter, that we are beings of hope, and without hope we don't survive.
And finally, Ross, on the paper run this morning, I thought I'd do a quick check around the coast for signs of unusual virus activity. I took this shot from Lisseroe Shopping Centre, where everything seemed to be normal. And then in Gosford, it was quiet, but otherwise things were business as usual. And I caught this bit of footage from Kincumber. And as you can see, everything was pretty normal there as well.
That's all for today. Isolation notwithstanding, we wish you all a very happy Easter. As David noted, issue number 237 hit the street this morning, packed full of news from around the coast. And of course, all that news and more is available on our website. We leave you now with some images from Bin Day, kicked off on the coast by Julie Mills, aka Superwoman, who took the view that since our wheelie bins were going out more than we are right now, we shouldn't just let them have all the fun.